Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Podcast. What it do, baby? 3-1 on Tuesday night. Needed that. Let's get into it and how we did. Brandon Pajemski is the only thing we missed here. Over 14.5 points and assists, and it's because he got hurt. That's the only reason we didn't sweep. And you got to take it. You got to take the lumps. The unders are always better for that exact reason. Unders are never dead. Plus, until they're dead. Plus, if someone gets hurt, the under is the way to go, obviously. Not going to worry about it. We'll take 3-1. We'll take plus 1.9 units on the night. We stuck to the player props because that's what's been working for us. Giannis went under the PRA because that was pretty much a blowout, even though the Spurs kind of got it within single digits at points in the game, and then it was over. And Giannis had a triple-double and still got under 52 PRA because that's an astronomical amount in the NBA. Derek White crushed this, had this in the second quarter, had 30 points, much less 19.5 points and assists. Kristaps was ruled out, so it was a wonderful bet. It's the only reason I didn't tell you to just ladder it. It was because I wasn't 100% sure that Kristaps was out. We didn't get that news that Kristaps was out until 15 minutes before tip. The other bet here, Curry under, Steph Curry under 10.5 rebounds and assists. I didn't get that in the video yesterday, but as I always tell you, follow along at Land Your Bets, at JL Boogie, all those on Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube, which you're already doing here. That's where I'm also I put out a YouTube short of the Curry stuff. So my main point is not all of the bets are going to get in on the videos themselves. And sometimes these things come up a little bit later than that. So stick along, follow along on social media is what I'm trying to say here. 3-1, 1.9 units on the season now. We are looking at 55 and 43, back up to 7 units on the season on the solo show here. 41 and 27 for 13.5 units on the player props here, going solo dolo with a few guests that have come in and helped out. By the way, I want to make sure I take on the record of the guests that I bring on here because I trust them. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring them on here. So if I trust them, then I got to add their record to mine. Let's go ahead and get into some bets for you guys. We're already 3 minutes in. Come on. Jared Allen. Under 26.5 points and rebounds in this one. I'm going to kick it off with an under, my favorite thing to do here. This is a game against the Utah Jazz that I think we're getting a ton of value because the books are not accounting. Maybe it's based on public perception, but the books, for whatever reason, are not accounting for the fact that Walker Kessler's back on this Utah team, and it's a huge freaking difference. It's everything when Walker Kessler's on the floor for this team versus not. It's unbelievable, actually. And moving forward, whenever he's on the floor and you have a good matchup like this, then I'm going to go ahead and take some unders for his opposition. In the last 2 weeks, Utah is limiting centers to the 6th fewest points per game and the fewest rebounds per game in the league. That's what Walker Kessler being back in there means. It means they are now a top 5 team at defending the center position. Jared Allen doesn't do this. He doesn't get 27 points and rebounds. He's gone under this prop in 18 of the 22 games that he's played this season. 3 of the games that he played that he got over this number, he played with Evan Mobley. Because believe it or not, with Evan Mobley in there, Jared Allen gets more stats. That's been the case this season. That was the case a little bit last season, although he did get more boards last season. The points don't really change with or without Mobley because honestly, Jared Allen isn't getting that many points anyway, and the offense is not running through him in any way, shape, or form. Now, Darius Garland is out as well, so it makes you a bit nervous that there's just going to be a bit more usage and time for Allen on the floor in general. But I just don't think that'll be the case. I think Walker Kessler will mirror his minutes, and he'll continue to limit them. They're a very good rebounding team as a whole, not outside of just Walker Kessler, when Lauri Markkanen is in, very good rebounding forward, and he is in for this game. So going to really feel good about that. Colin Sexton, another great rebounding guard. They should have plenty of help with Kessler there to keep Allen from getting 27 points and rebounds. Just so you know, the only thing that scares you is Utah is just absolutely putrid, puke awful on the road this season. 106 points per game on the road versus the 120 that they score at home. So there's going to be bricks probably from Utah. I mean, I do like the fact that Markkanen's back in there, and I think he and Sexton play well together as they did last year at the beginning of the season. Let's see what happens. I still think this is a very good bet. It's my favorite one of the night. Honestly, this is my favorite one of the night because I get to talk about La Flama Blanca, Kobe White, over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I didn't even give him that nickname, just so you know. I believe that was Stacey King and the Bulls broadcast that are calling Kobe White La Flama Blanca. Over in 8 of 9 without Levine, and that's been the last 9 games of the season that he's gone at least 34 points, rebounds, and assists for Kobe White. What an awesome dude. He's so easy to root for that I'm going to bet on him when it's a good situation. And the Bulls are taking on the Lake Show. So this is a good time for me to go ahead and just give you all of the love that I can for the Chicago Bulls, because without Zach LaVine, they're kind of a fun team to watch. Like, don't fucking tell anybody, but this is an enjoyable basketball team, which is not something that we have said about them since that trade where they got Vooch in this situation. So since Levine went out, Kobe White has stepped up, man. It's not like, oh, all of a sudden there's minutes and usage to be had, so now Kobe White's good and he just needed a shot. It was like, no, he could play within a team if Zach LaVine isn't out there eating up and really just playing your turn, my turn, because even DeMar has gone up with the assists, the ball movement. It's like there's actual ball movement now. They've gone from bottom of basically the fewest points off of fewest field goals made off of assists to now being in the top 10. They have the 8th highest percentage of their field goals off of assist. I cannot believe I'm saying this about the Chicago Bulls, but in the last 9 games, they are in the top 10 in terms of the percentage of their field goals that they're making off of assists, because it's not your turn, my turn, one-on-one baloney between Levine and DeMar DeRozan, who, to be fair to DeMar, I don't know that he even wanted to play like that all the time, because he's fitting in perfectly fine with the way that Kobe White has come in and changed this offense entirely. Since Kobe White came in, he leads the team in minutes, points, and assists. This is a bad Lakers defense against point guards. I pick on D'Angelo Russell all the time. Gabe Vincent's back in, and he's a good, maybe slightly above average defender at point guard. Like, he's not a liability by any means. He was a very good installation in the Heat defense last year to defend point guards, and a good big reason that the Heat were so freaking good at defending point guards, and they're just good at defending everyone. But Kobe White coming in now and will be coming up against Gabe Vincent, who will be still somewhat on a minutes restriction. After that, I'm not really worried about anybody else that they're bringing on the floor anymore to play defense against the point guard position. Once they lost Dennis Schroeder, obviously Pat Bev, there's nobody that really scares you to really be able to shut down Kobe White. And he's just going to continue to eat, basically have such a high usage, up to 24% in the usage rate there. And he's scoring in the paint and getting to the free throw line. And that's what I always hate. I hate taking overs on guards who just shoot and never attack the rim. You got to get easy points. Everybody knows that if you're going to be a legitimate player. And like, he's up to 5 free throw attempts a game for Kobe White since Levine went out, which is great compared to like 2, right, when Levine was in. But it still doesn't mean that like he needs to get better at that. It's enough for me to feel good about the 33.5 PRA, which he's averaging well above that in those last 9 games. Like I said, about 25 a game in the points department there, and then 6.5 assists, rebounds, and 7 boards. 7 assists. Jesus Christ. You get what I'm saying. Sorry for cursing and taking the Lord's name in vain. Moving on to the second bet here. I'm on my third bet. What am I talking about here? The final bet that I have for you tonight. And once again, please do follow along so you don't miss these other bets. I got a really beautiful winning Steph under there for those of you who were following along on social media. Also subscribe. I'm supposed to remind you at the top, but I always forget, and I just hate plugging it, but it is very helpful. So let me remind you about that right now if you're still watching. Orlando and the Heat are the final bet here. We are in Orlando, which is the key to this bet. So let's go over 218.5 on the total of this game. Orlando is scoring 120 points per game at home. This is not your older brother's Orlando Magic team from 2 years ago. This is a good offensive team now, even with Franz struggling in his last roughly 5 games or so, where he's down to about 16 points per game in that time period. Bad shooting. He'll get back out there. To be honest, a part of the reason that Franz is not playing as well in offense is there's a lot more Cole Anthony going on, because Markelle Fultz, stop me if you've heard this before, is not playing right now because he's hurt. Again, love Markelle Fultz, man, but he can't stay on the floor. When he's off the floor, a lot more offense, a lot less defense. When he's on the floor, a lot more defense, a lot less offense. Like a very stark contrast for him in the way that he helps control he's a point guard of the team, so he helps control the pace entirely. And when he is in there, they are giving up only 105 points per game. When he's not in there, 111 points per game. They score 115 without him. They score 108 with him. Very simply put, Cole Anthony is in the game when Markelle Fultz is not. He's the guard that comes in, plays point guard. Now you're talking about a very undersized guard who's going to play plenty of offense. He's going to play with pace. He can attack the rim and score in the paint. Another reason I love attacking Cole Anthony props when Markelle Fultz is not in there, which I'm not doing here because I don't even have them, by the way, a late night on Tuesday night. I still don't have the Cole Anthony stuff. Another reason to follow on social media, because if it comes out, then I'm going to put it up tomorrow and say, look at this Cole Anthony bet. I love it. Last plug there, I promise. Anyway, he impacts the way that the Orlando Magic team plays as well. The matchup here should lean for more points. Hero is a big part of that. He should score a lot of points. Now, Jalen Suggs will be on him. So maybe you like some Kyle Lowry stuff, because Kyle Lowry is at about 8.5 points right now. His assists and his mostly his points, I like a lot, because if Jalen Suggs is guarding Tyler Hero, not an awesome matchup for Tyler Hero. He could still get his. It's 22.5 points for him. He could be fine. He doesn't really do that much better without Jimmy Butler, to be honest. Huge part of that. Should have said that as well. Jimmy Butler not playing in this game, already ruled out, and that's fine. He's an awesome plus defender, so him not being in the game is fine for points, even though obviously he's also their best offensive player. All of that said, I still think that the way that the Magic are attacking the paint, very good. The Heat obviously still very good against the paint, but they are giving up a decent amount of points, as long as that's not second chance points, because they're a very good rebounding team. So it's not like there's going to be that many offensive rebounds, but there will be plenty of opportunity for the Magic to just keep mashing into the paint with Franz and Paolo. And now they have Wendell Carter Jr. back, by the way, which actually helps them with the threes. Very good defender, but stretches the floor way better, obviously, than Goga Batadze, and plays a lot of that sort of stretch five, as well as just being a really good defender down low. Love Wendell Carter Jr. Awful trade for the Bulls back in the day. Anyway, that is all the time I have for you guys. Let me wrap it up with the bets I have here. Jared Allen, one of my faves. Honestly, I love him, but got to go under 26.5 points and rebounds. Kobe White, La Flama Blanca, over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists in the game against the Lake Show. Incidentally, I kind of like the Bulls to win that game as well. We don't know if LeBron or AD they're both questionable as I'm recording this. So, like, it's possible that it already went down from -7 for the Lakers to -4. So that means that people are betting on the Bulls, because they are the best team against the spread in the last 9. 8-1 against the spread, 6-3 straight up. They went over in 7 of 9 as well since LaVine went out, because this offense goes from awful poo-poo stagnant to fun as hell, honestly, to watch, because Kobe White is the fucking man. You have to love it. So over 33.5 PRA for him, and over 218.5 in a Miami-Orlando total, which has gone over twice in the last 2 times they played this, including one in Orlando. And like I said, the Magic, they score a ton more at home. They don't play quite as much defense, honestly, even at home, even though they've blown some teams out. I do think the Heat will be able to score on them despite how bad they've been. So we'll go over 218.5 in that one. And that is fully all the time I have for you guys in this one. Appreciate you all liking and subscribing. Got hella new people, as we say out here on the West Coast, into the feed here with me, subscribing to the page, which I super duper appreciate. Also got you guys coming in the comments. People ask me questions. I'm giving you answers. So come through, follow on social media, all the places that you can get these updated bets each and every day before these slates kick off. And until I see y'all next for episode 102, happy betting.